Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
A state rep for Metro Detroit charged with drunk driving along I-96. Prosecutors say it took a taser and pepper spray to subdue him as he tried to use his job title to get a free pass. Sean?
Governor Whitmer making some eye-opening comments about the state's response during this surge of COVID-19.
All right, Sean, we're going to begin, though, with breaking news from Ann Arbor. That's Briarwood Mall that was evacuated a short time ago. People were told to avoid the area because of a shooting outside the mall.
Ann Arbor police tell us 2 men were fighting and 1 was shot. Police cleared the mall to look for the suspect and other potential victims. They're still searching for the shooter. We do not know what the fight was about, but we're told this was not random. Police tell us the person who was shot was not seriously hurt.
Our other top story at the 5 o'clock hour, coronavirus continuing to rage in Michigan. 8,955 new cases in the past day. That is the second highest daily count that the state's ever seen. 40 more deaths are also being reported as hospitals all across Metro Detroit warn they are close to capacity.
Governor Whitmer has stopped short of issuing any new restrictions so far, but this afternoon the health department expanded the state's mask mandate. It
now includes children as young as 2 years of age. Let's bring in Jason Colthorpe live with more on this order. Ask the parent of any 2-year-old, including one Kimberly Gill.
That's right.
This is not going to be easy.
Not at all. And as a parent, I'm wondering, my mind immediately goes to, is this going to take a bribe, or am I going to tell them they can't wear it to get them to actually wear it?
There you go.
But I did speak to the chief medical officer at DMC's Children's Hospital, and he thinks this is a very smart move.
I think it makes sense, actually. I think we have to keep the children safe.
Dr. Rudolph Valentini believes a mask mandate for kids 2 to 4 is important because now that children are back in school and in sports, more are getting sick statewide.
We're seeing a higher number of children hospitalized with COVID. We're seeing a higher number of children in our community who have COVID.
And yes, he knows getting a 2-year-old to mask up will not be easy.
It's a challenge, no question about it. It's hard to keep a very young, developmentally immature child able to reason with them of why it's important. But, you can kind of show them it's the right thing to do. And a lot of kids, they like to play along. And so I think they could follow along.
The bottom line here, according to Dr. Valentini, is it's time to add kids to the list of people doing their part.
We've done a great job of vaccinating our seniors. And so we've kind of pushed the demographic down to the younger folks who are a little bit more vulnerable. That's why I keep emphasizing to everybody that as adults, we need to get our vaccine so we can protect those 16 and under who are not yet eligible to get theirs.
And there has been a slight increase in what's called MIS-C. That's a condition in children that develops after they've had COVID. Sometimes it's serious enough to hospitalize them. But right now, hospital capacity is not an issue at Children's. And later on tonight, we'll dive into the challenge it's going to be for parents to actually get kids that young to mask up. Devin?
Tricky stuff. All right, Jason. Now, the Biden administration announcing today a massive investment in the fight against COVID-19 variants.
With new strains of the virus thought to be driving the surges in many states, including here in Michigan, it's a step toward preventing future variants from taking hold.
Today, we are announcing a $1.7 billion investment to bolster the ability of the CDC and state and local public health departments to monitor, track, and defeat emerging threats, whether it's COVID-19 variants today or other viruses in the future.
That funding will dramatically boost genomic sequencing. That's the testing that allows scientists to quickly spot changes in the virus that could be dangerous. On the vaccine front, more than 1/3 of the U.S. population has received at least 1 dose of the vaccine, and 1/5 of Americans are now fully vaccinated.
Widespread vaccination is the only way we will ultimately move past this pandemic.
But CDC Director Rochelle Walensky says it's essential for the U.S. to help others, too.
I think we have a responsibility to vaccinate the rest of the world, both from a humanitarian standpoint as well as from a global health security standpoint, to ensure that we don't have further variants that threaten both the rest of the world as well as the United States.
Dr. Fauci commented on the news that the Pfizer vaccine may require a booster after 12 months, which could include an update to better fight the South African variant.
There are already clinical trials looking at both the safety of it, obviously, but as well as whether or not a boost of wild type versus a boost of variant specific increases the ability of the anti-sera to ultimately neutralize both the wild type and the variant.
And Dr. Walensky also announced the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices will meet next Friday to discuss the pause on the Johnson & Johnson vaccine and provide recommendations to the CDC on its use. Detroit Public Schools' pause on in-person learning will be extended into the next month.
It comes as the city's 7-day COVID infection rate hits 15%. The district is going to remain in virtual until at least May 11th, the date of the next school board meeting, when the district could decide to stay virtual perhaps for the rest of the school year. The district's learning centers, where students can go for virtual learning, will reopen April 26th. Teachers can also voluntarily choose to work in their classrooms with students whose families want in-person instruction. We've got much more ahead coming up at 5:30 on the decision that districts are now facing. In a cable news interview, Governor Whitmer is placing blame for the current surge in COVID cases here. She also went deeper as to why she has not been issuing new restrictions. Let's bring in Sean Lay with more on what the governor had to say. It was really interesting, Sean.
Yeah, truly, Devin, the governor said that this is a very difficult time for the state, and she made some rather bold comments blaming this surge on the state being divided.
We know that we are seeing a resurgence of COVID all across our state, and I think some of it is because we as a nation did not rally to beat this virus.
Governor Whitmer making those eye-opening comments on MSNBC, now saying we all turned on each other instead of focusing on getting rid of COVID-19.
We have turned on one another, and this virus has taken an incredible toll on us.
The governor did use executive powers when the virus first hit. Kids out of schools, restaurants closed down, but no shutdown like that this time as virus variants rage in the state. The governor says she has smart policies in place. The mask mandate is still in place, but there is COVID fatigue. She was asked, does she have the political ability to take more aggressive action now?
We do retain some powers, but we are so incredibly divided after, I think, the politics of the last 14 months. And so it is a very difficult moment.
And right after the governor said it was a difficult moment, she also reminded during this interview that she says the GOP legislature, she still hasn't been able to work with them on COVID aid that was sent and resources by the Trump administration. We're live tonight. Sean Lay, Local 4. Kimberly Devin, back to you.
Hey, Sean, thank you. The Livingston County prosecutor says State Rep Jewell Jones was driving drunk and resisted arrest during an incident last week along I-96.
Today, Jones made his first appearance in court to be arraigned on those charges. Let's get to Priya Mann, who's following this. Priya is facing a felony count here.
Yeah, that's right. And he's facing more than 2 years in jail, slapped with 8 charges. Prosecutors say several drivers called 911 the night Jones was allegedly driving drunk. Prosecutors also say police found a .40 caliber gun in the cup holders of Jones's car. Now tonight, we're learning new information about what led up to this arrest.
Your Honor, the defendant's behaviors were reported to be so serious that they had escalated to a point that the troopers had to tase and pepper spray the defendant.
Livingston County prosecutors say State Rep Jewell Jones became combative and confrontational with state troopers and a paramedic after allegedly driving drunk and crashing his car.
The allegations in this matter include the defendant driving recklessly on I-96 while extremely intoxicated, Your Honor.
Prosecutors say Jones's blood alcohol content was more than twice the legal limit, also known as super drunk. It's alleged Jones drove from Southfield to Fowlerville, where he crashed his car in a ditch. Prosecutors say Jones became uncooperative when paramedics tried helping his passenger, who was in need of treatment. That's when police were called.
It was further reported the defendant continued to be confrontational, uncooperative, and insistent on referring again to his status of importance by flashing badges rather than producing the identification that law enforcement officers were requesting of Mr. Jones.
State Rep Jewell Jones was elected in 2016, representing Inkster and other portions of Wayne County. He's a senior deacon, an active member of the National Guard, and an auxiliary police officer in Inkster.
I'm happy to be alive.
On Thursday, Jones posted this story on his Instagram account, where he has more than 40,000 followers.
We have our good days, we have our better days. As long as we got life, we got a chance.
And the 26-year-old was given a $15,000 personal bond, which means he didn't have to post any money tonight. He can't drink and has to abstain from drugs and submit to random drug and alcohol testing. Reporting live tonight, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
All right, Priya. Investigators are on the scene of another mass shooting. This time, it's the FedEx facility near the Indianapolis airport.
8 people were killed, 5 wounded. FedEx late this afternoon saying it was a former employee that carried out the killing spree. Jay Gray has the details.
Witnesses say the shooting started in the parking lot.
He started shouting and then he started firing at random directions.
The deadly attack continued as he moved inside.
When officers arrived, they found a very chaotic and active crime scene.
8 victims dead, 5 more wounded.
This is awful. This is awful.
It ended, according to police, with the gunman taking his own life.
What we are left with this morning is grief. Grief for the families of those killed. Grief for the employees who have lost their coworkers.
Investigators say it's way too early to speculate on a motive. They're still gathering evidence inside the massive FedEx facility. They've identified the shooter. He's 19-year-old Brandon Scott Hull. Federal agents expanding their search to his home. As another community mourns what's now the 5th U.S. mass shooting in the last 5 weeks. Jay Gray, Local 4.
All right, Jay. We've got much more to come on this Friday. Let's check in with Nick.
A Clinton Township couple woke up to find something unexpected running through their creek yesterday morning. It was bright green.
It's bad. You don't want any kind of contamination in our drain.
So what exactly was it, and who's looking in to see if this might be a criminal matter?
I'm meteorologist Andrew Humphrey. Welcome to your Friday afternoon, my friends. Temperatures in the 50s now with some late day sunshine, still stuck in the 40s to our north. How chilly does it get tonight? Any more sunshine this weekend? I've got the answers in your full weather forecast in minutes.
Okay, Andrew, but first, the future really is electric, and General Motors is spending $2.3 billion to prove it. We'll have that story next.